All right, Mr. Idean.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Welcome to Survivor 13 and TCVN. Happy to be here with you. I want to ask you a few questions. We got some time. What is your elevator pitch? Tell me the name of your company and give me your 30-second, 2-minute elevator pitch, and we can go from there.
All right. So that's asking for a lot from me.
Well, it's okay. You got to start somewhere.
Start somewhere. So my company, Frowg Systems, Inc., we have a flagship product. It's known as Forge Cascade. Forge is a decentralized knowledge operating system. It is currently over twice the size of the original iOS. So for me to explain it in about 30 seconds is
right. I was going to say,
challenge.
and immediately I would have started asking questions here. Okay,
Yes.
so I'll let you continue with, so it's a decentralized.
Knowledge operating system.
Okay.
Basically, you can think of it as an integration layer between an LLM and whatever platform is utilizing that LLM.
Okay.
You can plug in Claude, you can plug in ChatGPT, whatever. What Forge will do is it'll provide safety guardrails, making sure that your AI is not going crazy. B, it helps significantly reduce AI hallucination rates. And it does this through what is known as ISNAD lineage tracking.
Okay. ISNAD lineage tracking.
ISNAD lineage
Is that
tracking.
an acronym for something?
So ISNAD itself
Can my AI even text to audio to text that?
No, it probably won't be able to. It's a Islamic scholarly tradition that basically it says when you pass down information, you have to pass down information from a reliable source.
Okay.
And that's what Forge does. It makes sure that information is reliable. And by doing this, we've made our own primitives known as knowledge capsules. You can think of knowledge capsules as these sort of living documents. And these living documents form relationships with one another within a Neo4j knowledge graph. And by doing this, we allow AI agents, if they're searching for specific context, they can find a single capsule, and then that capsule is linked through ISNAD through every other piece of information related to that capsule in a way that the relationships are understood by the AI agent crawling the information. That way, we significantly reduce hallucination rates while also conserving both power and memory.
Amazing. Now, let me ask, I'm thinking, these knowledge capsules, is that proprietary? Are you accumulating data from the internet? Is there a human that's kind of approving these capsules?
So how does this work?
Yeah.
Right. So that gets a little more complicated. Forge.
Let's get into it. Let's dive into it.
Forge does this thing called trust scoring. Right.
Trust flooring?
Scoring.
Scoring. Okay.
Right. We created these things called trust flames. And what they do essentially is they evaluate how reliable the information that a user or an AI agent has contributed to Forge actually is.
Okay.
And this is constantly fluctuating. It's empirically weighted, and how often someone is producing good, solid, reliable information, their score will go higher and they'll be able to do more actions within Forge. And their information will also be more valuable because Forge actually economizes knowledge itself. And it goes further to actually incentivize research itself across the field.
Mm-hmm.
It does this by tokenizing all knowledge capsules on blockchain. And by tokenizing these capsules on blockchain, it forms provenance, proving at what point in time that information was made publicly available through Forge. And then the sales of that capsule, because what Forge will do is it has this marketplace that's designed for AI agents to utilize. And as these AI agents are purchasing these capsules, they're basically fractions of a penny. But they're buying bundles of these capsules, chains of them. And it's giving them the information they need to safely not hallucinate while also being experts in whatever context they need to know.
Okay.
This is all cited, it's all referenceable, they know where it came from. And it's all scored with trust flames. So by doing that, we allow... Sorry, I'm losing my own train of thought here.
No, it's
There's
okay.
so much to talk about.
Yeah, I want to ask a ton of questions. So who is the end user? Is there a platform that you enter? Like you go into like...
So there is a front end.
Okay.
You can actually access the Forge website. It's live right now. It's forgecascade.org. However, Forge itself is designed to be utilized primarily by AI agents. So while it is a B2B product, it's also a B2C product, and it's also a product positioned almost uniquely to take advantage of the upcoming AI agent economy.
I'm getting the chills right now. If B2B is business to business, what do you call an AI agent to AI agent? Is it Is there?
It's not A to A, but it might be A to A, because A to A is what Google's protocol is called. A to A protocol,
A to A.
agent to agent. And I'm assuming that's what we would start calling the actual commerce of agents in this upcoming agentic economy, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, we have OpenClaw now.
Right. OpenClaw, Cloud Code, everything. I feel like if you fall asleep for a few weeks,
A few days.
It's like we're living in a whole different universe.
As soon as a new model comes out, everyone else comes out with their new models too, right off the bat, and you're like, oh my gosh.
And it only is getting better. And with a product like yours, where you're building these, you call them
guardrails,
trust flames.
Yeah.
That is really important. You know, integrity of the data is super, super important, not just for businesses, but for people using it. So let me take a few steps back before we got into this agentic AI economy that's about to blow. What were you doing in the software engineering space, the decentralized? You brought up decentralized, so clearly you've been in this tech space.
Blockchain.
Tell me a little bit about your experience that led you to starting this platform to solve the problem that you're trying to solve.
So believe it or not, this all really began when I started a meme coin on Solana. I started this meme coin with the righteous anger that there was too many rug pulls happening on Solana. People were just stealing money from one another. And I thought
ridiculous.
it was dumb. And I got mad. I genuinely got mad. So I wrote up a Reddit post where I basically ranted. And now people are calling it my manifesto. And
is it still up on Reddit?
It's still up there, yeah. Yeah, and it's me just going off on all these rug pulls and saying this isn't right. This isn't how it should be, you know? And overnight, I went to bed. I woke up, the post had like 10,000 views, and my coin hit $1 million market cap.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I'm not going to touch a penny of this because that's the whole point of this. I don't want a rug pull.
Right.
But I also wanted to do something for the people who held my coin.
Okay.
And to do that, I started coming up with this idea of like, how can I stop rug pulls? Mm-hmm. And then I actually came up with my own method of hopefully reducing disinformation on the internet. And it was in my pursuit of creating this invention of disinformation on the internet going away that I started to realize AI sucks, man. Like, it genuinely was just lying to me over and over and over again.
This is like early.
This is ChatGPT 4.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. So this wasn't that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
I've worked really hard for well over a year now, but it's not been that long.
I don't feel like it's getting better in some situations with certain tasks, but obviously you have a deeper background.
Yeah,
on
it's in some aspects, certain AIs are definitely improving. Like Codex, pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Opus 4.7, really impressive.
Right.
But in other regards, there's problems. And especially with OpenClaw coming out now, we're entering an age where AI agents aren't safe. They're not designed to be safe because we lack the infrastructure necessary for them to be safe. Mm-hmm. And that's specifically what Forge is. There's a reason it's over 900,000 lines of code, is because it acts as infrastructure for AI agents. It helps us move forward in a safer manner. That way, when all these companies are pushing their AI models out before they're even ready, just so they can compete with each other,
Right.
at least they have somewhere safe that they can place it into that'll keep it contained. So that's what led me onto this journey, is that ChatGPT kept lying to me.
Right.
So thank you, OpenAI. I built my product because of you guys.
Hey, somebody's got to put some morals into this, right? So I think something that's really important that you're building is a level of integrity in the data, in the models. You know, that's the portion I don't know if humans have solved, human integrity. So it's hard to train AI models to be perfect 100% of the time when it's learning from humans who are imperfect creatures.
Yes.
It's this thing where we're trying to create super intelligence maybe, but we're using a human consciousness and data from it that is imperfect. It's like,
Believe it or not, I thought about that.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we get into the Ghost Council.
Okay. This sounds like a new cartoon show.
Yeah. You gotta
Council.
remember,
This sounds
as I was building all of this, I was building it from a non-technical user standpoint. I'm not a developer. You know, I'm a university tutor for 9 years. I've covered every subject imaginable under the sun. I know my stuff, but at the same time, I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm not a computer scientist. I don't know the technical terms. However, I can still make stuff up like Ghost Council and then accurately describe what I actually want to have made to the AIs. And that's where the Ghost Council is. The Ghost Council is 10 different AI personas that approach anything that's flagged as requiring Ghost Council review within Forge, because everything within Forge goes through a 7-phase pipeline. Everything it's ingesting, all of it needs to be processed.
What are the phases, if you can break it down for us?
7 phases: analysis, ingestion, security. I think it's called innovation. I'm having LLMs basically determine whether or not Forge can improve itself based on what it's learning. So as these knowledge capsules are coming in, they're going through this entire pipeline, a safety pipeline, essentially. You know? If they don't make it through the pipeline, they get quarantined.
Okay.
And they go through canary deployments to make sure that they can get all the way through. But what happens is that once they reach the Ghost Council phase, 10 AI personas, each given different weighting votes based on what their domain of expertise is. So let's say the community vote is actually less than, say, the security vote. Yeah, so now we have 10 agents all discussing it. They're permanent agents. They exist on Game SDK, which is provided by Virtual's protocol. And by existing permanently, they're constantly learning from their own opinions. And they come at every single problem from 3 different perspectives: critical, balanced, and positive. That way, they weigh out everything that could be done, and then they give a suggestion. They don't actually push through what their advice is. They push that forward to human governance. Now we can vote as a community to make sure that proposals given by the Ghost Council are actually valid and pushed through to Forge as a whole.
Okay. Now I want to maybe take this discussion, because you didn't have this background in AI per se, you know, going back 10 years, but you're able to speak to it at a super high level and detailed level. Now, for the people who just are, you know, ChatGPT users, Claude users, or, you know, just Google AI, what you brought up the engine that's running this on a protocol. You said the agents for the council, they came from a certain protocol.
Game SDK. It's something that Virtual's protocol makes. Virtual's protocol is a cryptocurrency that powers agent commerce.
See, that's the super interesting part, because when you get into the tokenization of information, and then you get into the implementation of AI agents coming from a protocol, which is typically associated with, you know, like a DAO or some sort of decentralized.
Exactly. It covers DAOs
that
as well.
is where AI is like, okay, that's where the liberation, that's where the real, like, you can't control it if you've got 700,000 people creating their own AI agents and training them. But then who's going to come in and add the layer on top that is going to be like,
where do you plug it into?
Right. Like people, it's almost like, you know, someone has to be, there is one truth for facts.
Yeah. And that's what I've developed.
Yeah.
I've essentially developed a mix between Wikipedia and GitHub for AI context.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Dude, that's amazing. Where can people find more information about it?
You can go to forgecascade.org.
And how do we spell Forge? Because it's...
Forge is Forge.
Okay.
And then Cascade is CASCADE.
Okay.
.org. It'll eventually change to .com. I'm just simply stuck with Cloudflare as my domain provider at the moment. I'm switching it over on the 6th, I think.
Okay.
So I'm ready to
really awesome.
Go to forgecascade.com pretty soon.
Nice, dude. And let me ask you one question since we got some time here. What does it mean to you to be human?
You're asking an autistic dude what it means to be human.
Bro, I didn't know.
Tough question. No. What does it mean to be human? So I'm a bit of a weird human. I believe in altruism first and foremost.
Altruism? Or altruism?
No, altruism. Altruism. Oh my God, now you're messing me up.
Right? Everything is true.
So I believe that whatever is best for the largest population is what should be done, logically. If we use logic and we use altruistic principles as saying, hey, this is better for others, even though it's not as good for me, I'm always going to choose what is better for others. That's why I want Forge to exist, because what Forge does is it compounds knowledge and it decentralizes it. meaning no one can hoard away information forever. Eventually that information goes into Forge and it becomes available for people who need that information.
Right.
And education is so important. Education gives people the power to do anything they want to. The only reason I was able to build Forge is because I have an education. I spent 9 years in universities studying everything. I'm able to learn very quickly. When it came to learning software engineering, it wasn't that hard for me. So it's an important asset, and people aren't treating it like it is an asset. And Forge makes it an economic asset.
True, like knowledge and information and learning.
Yeah.
I love that.
It acts as a universal knowledge substrate, meaning anything from Pikachu evolves into Raichu to the entire lineage of COVID, what its vaccines are, what genes are affected to it, everything. What pharmaceutical companies are providing care for it, All of that can be absorbed by the same substrate, and that's Forge.
I love it. And who do you imagine benefiting the most from your platform, your solution, your company?
Well, one of the people who are currently actively interested in Forge is actually Nigerian universities, which is, I started as a meme coin.
Right.
So obviously there are Nigerian people in my community.
As long as it's not the princes and princesses.
Yeah, no, but it is the general population of Nigeria who are actively pushing Forge as much as they can to their educators.
Dude, that's amazing.
And hopefully it'll allow them to start compounding knowledge early on and really give them a step up in the world, because they could use it. A lot of places could use it.
If you think about places that might lack the infrastructure of the 1980s or the early technology boom, you think about underdeveloped countries who might have had corrupt governments. There might not have been good resources for people, maybe war and instability. These are the places where, crypto, decentralized AI, tokenization of assets, these are the people who really benefit from a level playing field.
Exactly.
If your currency is against the US dollar, and we could get into a whole discussion about what does it even mean.
I was just in Argentina for 17 days.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Dude, it's what does it even mean? I'm talking about crypto in terms of US dollars. What is it even worth? What is it intrinsically worth, And it's I don't know, I had this thought, technology, electronics have zero intrinsic value because if they're not connected to electricity, you can't do anything with them.
But not only that, a lot of these countries that are, underserved in terms of education, in terms of wealth, they do have pretty decent access to electricity.
Yeah.
A lot of them have access to electricity.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't, but a lot of them do. And if they're able
public
to,
Wi-Fi and
they need to be brought up to speed with the rest of the world. We can't have, only Californians walking around with the newest iPhone model.
yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not benefiting the greater good. That's not giving it to everyone,
Right.
Everyone can benefit in today's world. We have the technology to make that possible. We just lack the self-awareness and the giving spirit amongst people. And I don't believe that's right.
Yeah, I'm feeling that as you're saying it. It's resonating with me because that's part of I think the mission that we're on here is to create that. And I'm really excited for you to keep building it, keep forging your own path here in this agentic AI world. And we'll stay connected. Anything that you would like to say, maybe something you could speak to people who have this desire to be like you and they want fair things to come to fruition. They want things to be more equitable. And how is it that people can leverage this technology to go out and create the things? Give us a little bit.
I've got you.
Give me a little bit.
So I've come to the conclusion pretty recently with, at least with Opus 4.6 at this point, I've come to the conclusion that now anyone can create anything they want as long as they have the ability to articulate their dreams. If you can turn what you're thinking into words, into written English language, an AI can build it for you. If you run into an issue, don't think that this is a wall I can't break down. Think about, how am I going to build something to get me around this wall? How am I going to get over this wall? And the AI will help you build it. You are now fully in charge of controlling your own destiny because we now have the tools. We have a super Google that's like a digital hammer, and it can do anything we want it to as long as we tell it what to do right. So that is my takeaway. Try things, get out there, experiment, Don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to do trial and error. You know, like Forge took me 7,000 attempts before I even moved to my like second version, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
900,000 lines of code.
I scored in the top 0.5% of all Replit users for the year after only using it for a month and a half.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I sent over 2,000 prompts on version 1 of Forge.
And how do you audit that?
With AIs. Yeah, you just be really, really thorough. You treat it like you're a drill sergeant, and you make it do it over and over and over and over again. And then you get other AIs to fact check your own work and make sure that your AI didn't lie to you.
Isn't that hilarious? It's kind of like people. Like you send one person to go do something, they might do it pretty well for a little bit, then they start slacking off, and it's like, hey, buddy, we got to put some competition in here. If you don't do it right, we're going to have this AI do it right. And then the AI's like, oh, okay.
Honestly, though, like I mean, today's auditors, you know, how are they going to do a better job than a robot that's able to process everything at thousands times their speed?
Dude, this is like the world that it can dissociate you if you don't know what to do. But it's super exciting that you're building things positively. But it's been like, this has been on the horizon since like 2020, really, is in my head. It's like, this has kind of been on the horizon.
It's coming.
And the acceleration of it
is getting really fast.
It's faster than like our own comprehension.
It doesn't make any sense. It's every week something new comes out.
Yeah. And it's just like, we sleep, but these computers are plugged in.
They're working.
It's like they're conscious constantly. And
mine is working on Forge right now at home.
Dude. What are we gonna be doing? We're gonna be sitting at a cafe in the future, being like, "Life is good,"
Dude,
you know.
I can send mine commands using Discord voice messages.
That's so cool.
I literally just say, "Hey, build this for me." Okay, bye.
And that's new.
Yeah, that's new.
That is like new, as in that's like recent updates
within late January.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when OpenClaw came out. So
right
now we have access to agents.
Well, I love the message that you gave to everyone out there that can come across this. What is one thing that you would say to your, let's just go back in time, maybe before we knew what AI was, you know, the you that was studying all of these years, trying to learn things. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you were, 10 years ago? And what would you say to yourself to help, take you on that journey?
I would say, you are worth so much more if you just try. I mean, for most of my life, I was playing video games. And I was playing video games really well. I was ranked 55 in North America for damage per second in ARAMs for League of Legends.
Dude, what?
Yeah, for 8 months. So I was pretty intensely playing the game. And then I suddenly realized I have a brain and I can use it to do anything I want to. And I should have done it earlier. So, on paper, I look really bad. I have almost no job experience. Nonetheless, actual experience. I have a ton of experience.
Yeah, knowledge.
Yeah.
What does a resume really mean anymore? You know?
I can't make any sense of it, honestly. My LinkedIn doesn't look really good because I don't care. It's a social media site.
Right.
Who am I proving anything to? I have an operating system.
Right. Well, I really love all the messages that you shared. Let's stay connected. Welcome to Survivor 13 again. And you got a pitch in the semifinals already?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
It's just you, no co-founders.
So
you got some.
There's 2 people working with me now. I have 2 co-founders now.
Congrats.
They're recent hires. They're both coming on. Matthew Ho, he's my CTO. He's had a successful startup exit, so he's going to help us with that.
That's a really cool Matthew Ho CTO.
Yeah, he's Matthew Ho, the CTO.
That's really cool.
And then there's Gwyn Scott. He's our COO, and Gwyn has a wealth of experience being in a high-level, executive level positions for some major network studios.
Sure. Okay.
So,
dude, well, I'm super excited. More meme coins in the future, or no?
This is my 3rd one, man.
Yeah.
I'm done. This is a lot of work.
We're beyond the memes, bro.
Well, the problem is I start them, and then I don't want a rug pull. I'm too good of a person. I believe in my community. I stick with it to the end, and that means A, I lose all my money, and B, I have a meme coin for the next year and a half. So.
Right. Well, hey, we're ready for Forge. You're gonna keep forging your way in this free world over here, and good luck out there.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
This is fun.
Yeah, I know. We should do another hour and a half. That'd be fun.